More and more South Africans are lapsing on their insurance payments as the cost of living surges. This is according to the latest annual report from the Ombudsman for long-term and short-term insurance. It looks at the reasons why insurance companies rejected some claims made in 2022. We speak now to the Deputy Ombudsman, Edite Teixeira-McKinon. Thank you so much for your time, Edite. With the cost of living surging as we are awaiting another possible hike in interest rates, do you think the trend of South Africans lapsing on their insurance or not keeping up with the maintenance of their assets will continue?
I definitely do think so. We see that in the majority of cases that we deal with, we are dealing with claims that have been rejected on the basis of lack of maintenance, wear and tear, and gradual deterioration. Even in the KZN flood complaints, we see this trend coming up, and we then have to really evaluate whether the damage was caused by the floods or perhaps a structural defect, perhaps gradual deterioration where the homeowner simply didn't get to maintain the home. We see also late premiums or premiums being paid lately or not at all, and then, of course, wanting to claim and not having the cover for the claim.
Edite, what can South Africans do? Could you go talk to your insurance about a possible payment plan to make sure that you're still covered in case of an accident?
Definitely talk to the insurer or the broker, see if there are areas of risk that you can more easily and more readily afford to assume on your own, as opposed to the bigger risks where you will definitely need insurance in order to recover from a loss or damage. But yes, speak to your broker, speak to the insurer, make a plan. Don't be without insurance completely.
Now, many insurers have now changed their policies to either exclude or minimize their responsibility in cases of load shedding and power surges. Though one could understand the reasoning for the companies, how reasonable is this for the consumer? Are we being left in the lurch?
It feels that way, but unfortunately, insurers, having faced a number of years of disasters, have had to also mitigate against covering all the risks. One can also see from the insurer's perspective that if load shedding occurs according to the schedules, is it really an unforeseen, unexpected event? That is what insurance is there to cover, not something that is predictable, that is going to happen, that you know is going to happen. So you then, as the owner of household contents, have to take a responsibility and make sure that those appliances, if as far as possible, get switched off, so that damage does not occur to them. It becomes quite unsustainable for the industry, having faced COVID-19, the KZN floods, the Gauteng storms, to also have to now deal with many, many claims coming through as a result of damage caused by power surge as a result of load shedding.
When talking about misrepresentations that are made to insurers resulting in claims being denied and complaints being logged, do you think people are willfully trying to cheat insurers, or could it be ignorance around the process and the information that they should give?
It's definitely a combination of both. We see a lot of negligent, unintentional misrepresentations being made by policyholders or prospective insureds who don't have an understanding of insurance and the questions being asked. It's also a case where the questions are not asked clearly and concisely by the sales agent, especially when it comes to telemarketing and direct insurance. And this is where the value of a broker needs to be highlighted, where a broker can sit with you and go through things very carefully, and you have an opportunity to think, as opposed to taking out insurance over the phone. And in lots of cases, we get the sense that people are not really focusing on the questions, not really listening, or the questions are not being asked clearly enough. It is definitely a combination of those two factors.
Thank you so much, Edite, for your time. That was Deputy Ombudsman for Short-Term Insurance, Edite Teixeira-McKinon.